Alright guys, the Pro Bowl rosters were announced. I'll go through my reactions to them. Yeah, I haven't looked at them yet, but let's go. 2024 NFL Pro Bowl rosters reaction. Again, it's a popularity contest. All pros are, again, a lot more legit than this, but we'll see who made it, because, again, it's still an award, and it does honor who's been the best players in the league. Of course, most of them are wrong, but let's get right into it. Of course, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the 2024 NFL Pro Bowl games. I guess, yeah, 2024 NFL Pro Bowl roster reactions. Of course, they have all come out. I'm kind of looking at this for the first time. Again, not really looking in depth, and I've seen, again, some spoilers, but it's nothing like crazy. Like, the guys you expect to make it. We'll talk about that. And after we get through both rosters and my, again, initial reactions, like, off the top, I will get into, the, what is it called? I will get into the you know, like, the thing. No, wait, yeah. The snubs. I'll talk about who got snubbed from here. Like, again, probably at every position. Someone who did deserve to be there. Maybe not more than some other guys, but definitely could have been, like, in there, and I would have had no issue for it at all. But with that said, let's go right into it with the AFC. First off, obviously, a quarterback. These are the three guys who got in. Tua, I think he's like an alternate or something. Whatever. We'll see. Yeah, Tua's there. Yeah, denotes starter. Whatever that means. Whatever, though. Yeah, Tua is there. I think, yeah, those are your starters. So, you got Tua. Okay, we'll get to Tua in a second. He was deserving enough. He had a really good season, obviously. Best year of his career by far. Stayed healthy and led best offense in the league, despite, again, having an issue with another dude. Lamar, he's the MVP. He probably won't play in the Pro Bowl. That's my guess. Patrick Mahomes, alright, guys. Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, guys. Again, he was not a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback this year. Stats. He did it. All this other stuff. He was not a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. That's just the truth about it, guys. His numbers were not good at all. He didn't perform like it either. Like, this offense was not good. He struggled in parts in this year, too. It wasn't like Mahomes was, again, I don't have a big issue with him being here, but guys, like, again, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's why he made it. It wasn't like he had a Pro Bowl caliber season. Like, this is his worst year of his career so far, all things said. But yeah, I'm not, like, too mad about this. Again, we'll get to the snubs, but Mahomes, Tua definitely would have been there, but Mahomes didn't. I think, again, I don't know. I don't have a huge issue with him being here, but then again, like, does he deserve it? Not really. He didn't have the type of season there. Raheem Mostert, again, he definitely leads the league in touchdowns on the year. That makes sense. James Cook, all right, guys. So the three things that I have with Pro Bowlers is, did you have the numbers to be a Pro Bowler? Like, did you have those numbers? 2, how valuable are you to your team? And then the third one was, what was the third one? Let me think. All right, yeah. No, what was the third one? Yeah, valuable to your team, numbers, and consistency. Consistency, the third one. So, Raheem has the numbers. That's for sure. He was the dude. Raheem Mostert, again, he's got all three. Again, well, maybe not all three. So, he's definitely got 2 of them. He has the numbers. He's been consistent all year. Again, he's had a couple bad games, but they haven't been awful. It's not like he's been high, low, high, low, high, low. Not like that. He's been good the whole year. Also, though, again, what is it called? If you took him out of the Dolphins, I don't think they'd be that much of a different team. I mean, again, when they lost A-Chain, that was probably when they need him the most. But if they lost Raheem Mostert, the Dolphins wouldn't be great. But he still deserves to be the Pro Bowl because, again, he's been consistent all year. James Cook, he's different. James Cook, if the Bills did not have James Cook, they'd be a different team. Again, it's simply just because, again, him being in the backfield, they got to account for him. Again, I talk about, again, he hasn't been the best back in the league. He hasn't been that dominant, but when he's not on the field, this Bills offense looks completely different. They need him in that backfield as well. Again, not the most consistent year, but he has been okay there, and the numbers are pretty good too. So James Cook, again, I'm okay with him being a Pro Bowler. Is it the best selection? No. But, again, the AFC's been crap with running backs this year. Like, you look across the board. Again, Breece Hall should be a Pro Bowler. But, again, injuries. And, again, there's not team success. He just isn't there, so they're not going to put him there. He could be a Pro Bowler, though, next year for sure. Again, the Jets don't suck. Patriots, no. Bengals, Browns, again, they had Nick Chubb, but obviously not. Ravens, no, because, again, they don't really have a true number 1. Steelers, you could argue Najee Harris. We'll get to that in the snubs. Derrick Henry, again, he's here because of popularity. He didn't have that good of a year. Worst year of his career since 2018, really. So, yeah, don't think he totally deserves to be here. But, again, that's what they wanted to do there. Travis Etienne, obviously, though, again, you could argue him, too. Again, we'll get hit with them in the snubs. Al Gingold, yeah, that makes sense. Fullback, he's been the best fullback in the whole entire league this year. Not much of a problem with there. Receiver-wise, I'm actually not too mad about this. Again, Tyreek Hill, again, he might break 2,000 yards. I'm not going to say he will because, again, that's that's a ridiculous game. Amari Cooper's been the best player on the Browns as a whole this year. Again, not super consistent on everything said, but the numbers are there. He's one of the most valuable players at the position in the league. Keenan Allen, again, he's like one. He just a catching magnet. Again, he hasn't had the most dominating year we've seen in the past, but again, he had that monster game. 18 catches, 205 yards versus the Vikings. That also is a big factor if you've had a monster game. Of course, Tyreek and Mark Cooper said that. Jamar Chase makes sense. He's here again. He's I think he's top 5 in yards created per. What is called yards of separation created per what is called route. So I'm not too mad. Jamar Chase is here. He does deserve it. Again, maybe a couple other guys could have, but yeah, that makes sense. Tight end Travis Kelce. Again, that makes sense. He leads the tight. Again, he has not been the typical Travis Kelce this year, but then again, there's really no one else to put here. Mark Andrews is out for the year, and again, it doesn't really make sense to put anyone here, to be completely honest. At least, because again, Travis Kelce still had a decent year. He had a very solid year, even if he wasn't the same dude, and he's kind of a little worse. But there still hasn't been a tight end outside of David Njoku, who again has been dominant for the Browns over the past month. That I think deserves to be on the Pro Bowl roster. Again, Travis Kelce still had a really good year, so I'm okay with him here. Obviously, David Njoku is definitely a lock there too. O-line, Deion Dawkins, very underrated year for him. He's been a very good pass blocker. Some of you don't always say about him, more average, and obviously he's a very dominant run blocker at times. Not as dominant as, again, the best of the best, but Deion Dawkins had a very, very good year. Laremy Tunsil, obviously, he's the best tackle in the AFC. You can't really argue about that. Teron Armstead, I kind of get this, but then again, Austin Jackson was the best offensive lineman on the Dolphins in terms of anything. We'll get to him in a second, too. But, yeah, I think he might have gotten hurt, though. Didn't Austin Jackson get hurt? Didn't he get hurt? I swear he did. Yeah, that's what I thought. Austin Jackson ended the season. He would have been a Pro Bowler though. So I get Teron Armstead definitely had a bounce back year after a injury riddle last year, but I'm okay with that. Quentin Nelson, again, you might think about that's popularity. Quentin Nelson had a very good year, bounced back from last year and the year before that. Joel Bitonio, he's still the best guard in the league in my opinion. Again, on consistency, not overall and ceiling wise, but he's a very good player. Joe Thuney, a little bit of a down year. I don't know if he totally deserved it, but then again, he is their glue to that run game. Creed Humphrey, best center in the league right now. Again, you can moan all you want about Jason Kelce. Creed Humphrey's just as good. Tyler Linderbaum, he's the guy who seals the A gap for the Ravens. I am good with that. Again, none of these dudes, again, outside of Joel Bitonio and Quentin Nelson, again, out of the Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Tyler Linderbaum are fantastic pass blockers. But again, what they do in the run game is just huge. So yeah, I'm good with that. So again, overall the offensive line, again, Deion Dawkins, you could argue, but then again, he had a very good year. Teron Armstead, again, I'm okay with it. He had a very solid year too. I don't know. I mean, the offensive line, it's just kind of subjective with this. Quentin Nelson, though, again, I'm not too mad about this offensive line picks. Again, you could have had some other guys in there. I don't know. Let me think. Wyatt Teller, you could argue, though. Again, he struggled, but then you have Joel Bitonio. I don't think both Browns guys would be there, but they have been very good for them. Obviously, what is it called? For the, why am I blanking on his name? Holy crap. Not for the Raiders. Oh, yeah, Garrett Bowles. Garrett Bowles could have been, but we'll get to the snubs later. All right, keep going down. For the defensive line, you got Myles Garrett. Okay, Max Crosby, Trey Henderson off the edge. All those guys deserved it. That makes pretty big sense here. Again, those are your 3 best edge rushers in the AFC. We'll get the snubs in a second for sure. Interior linemen, you got, what is it called? Chris Jones, Quentin Williams, Justin Madubuike. Justin Madubuike has been the most dominant and consistent pass rusher up the middle. Again, one-on-ones in the whole entire league as an interior defensive lineman. I'm good with that. Quentin Williams, okay. Yeah, again, he did not totally have a great year, but then again, he is one of the best run defenders in the league. And Chris Jones had another solid year, even if it wasn't nearly as good as last year. TJ Watt, defensive player of the year until he kind of fell off towards the last couple weeks, but we'll see what goes on with that. Khalil Mack, oh yeah, that makes sense there. And obviously Josh Allen, who has been the best Jags pass rushing season ever. And obviously the Ravens, they have the 2 best middle linebackers in the AFC. I will argue Patrick Queen has been better than Roquan Smith this year. But again, Roquan Smith obviously is a better player. Patrick Queen, though, has been playing out of his mind. This is by far the best year of his career. He's been one of the most reliable guys in coverage, man-to-man and in zone. Maybe not as dominant in zone or as sought after, but he has been great in zone. And obviously, he has been tackling a lot better, obviously. And I will say, his run defense hasn't been elite, but it's still been really good. Looking at the corners, though, Pat Surtain, rough start. I'm okay with that, though. He's been really good the past month. Sauce Gardner, okay, I guess. He really, again, he hasn't been as good, nearly as good as he was last year, but it wasn't like he fell off a cliff. Jalen Ramsey's been the best corner in the league when he's on the field this year. And Denzel Ward, that kind of makes sense. He's the Browns' #1 guy. He's covering all the dudes. Again, we'll get to the snubs in a second. Justin Simmons, I'm okay with this. I think he's been better than Minka. Again, Justin Simmons has been really good this year. Again, he's one of the most reliable safeties in the league. I don't think he's been as good in coverage as he's been in the past, but then again, his run defense has really stepped up, and he hasn't had a ball thrown over his head all year. Again, he has compensated for a little bit of the rating and completion percentage. I've seen in the red zone, he hasn't been as great, but again, he's not giving up the big play, which is what a free safety is basically able to do. Minka, not a great year, again, for his standards, but it wasn't like he was, like, bad. Again, this might be a little bit of a, again, snub for another dude, but Minka was still really good. Kyle Hamilton, yeah, he's been the best safety in the league, and I would argue there are really no one else to pick there. Ross Matajic, I guess, okay. I don't really know much about. You can't really judge long snappers unless they suck, so good job, I guess. AJ Cole, he kicks bombs. Justin Tucker, I mean, who else would you pick there? Marvin Mims Jr., and, yeah, he was really a kick returner this year. Obviously, Miles Killebrew for the Steelers, one of the most like, guys, he puts so much effort in, and he makes, like, very, very, very disruptive guy in special teams. Don't sleep on that. And that's really all I got for the AFC, guys. Again, a little bit of long thing there, but let's get over to the NFC. Alright, NFC, you got Brock Purdy as the starter. That makes sense. He's been very consistent. Obviously, Dak is the backup, leads the league in touchdown passes. Matt Stafford, who has been the best quarterback in the entire NFL since week 12. That makes sense why he's there. Again, I'm not too big of issues. Again, you could argue Jalen Hurts, but whatever. CMC, best offensive player in the league this year. There's no arguing that. DeAndre Swift, what the hell? I mean, guys, DeAndre Swift is falling off a cliff since week 3. Again, he hasn't been bad, but okay. I mean, again, the running back is just not the most, again, like, best position, at least this year. Kyron, he's been the second best running back in the league this year. So, again, and he's only played in 12 games, too. Kyle Juszczyk, fullback, again, that's just kind of a given. He still hasn't fallen off at the position. Again, doesn't get used as much, but still as a blocker, is one of the best, again, lead blockers in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb, he's been probably the most consistent receiver, again, for any team this year. Yeah, you talk about Tyreek, obviously he's the most dominant, but CeeDee, when you need him to make a play, he makes it. It's simple as that. He's put himself firmly in a top 5 receiver this year. A.J. Brown, again, he hasn't had the most consistent year, but I get that. Mike Evans, you can't, there's no way you don't put him on this team. He's had a very, very good year, and again, it just would be a disrespect considering he's gone 10 straight seasons, started his career with that, what is called 1,000-yard season, and I'm good with this, guys. You can't really argue about that. And Puka, yeah, if he doesn't, honestly, I don't know if I think he'll have a hard time being first-team All-Pro, but offensive rookie of the year is obviously in the life room. Again, the Rams just made an absolutely, like, historic pick there. Kittle, Laporte at tight end, there's no arguing that. Those guys have been unbelievable in obviously different ways, but yeah. Trent Williams still the best offensive lineman in the league. Lane Johnson's been great this year too. Penei Sewell also very dominant in what is called versatile too. He's definitely stepped up his run blocking. Zach Martin, I don't know why he's here, guys. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Zach Martin is not. He had a good year, but like it was not like it's Zach Martin, so he's gonna get the nod. But guys, like. He was not that good. I mean, it just wasn't. Chris Lindstrom, again, not as dominant as last year where he was the best overall offensive lineman in the league. No doubt, watching him on film, he was unbelievable. But then again, like, he was still, like, elite this year. Like top-notch. Not as good as last year, but still really, really good. Landon Dickerson, yeah, don't ask me why he's here again. Very, very good run blocker. Decent pass protector again. Guys don't penetrate much against him. But, again, I don't know. I'm good with this, I guess, but we'll get to a snub later. Later. What is called? Jason Kelsey, Frank Ragnow, okay. Jason Kelsey, again, he's going to always start. It's simple there. Frank Ragnow, again, he got injured a couple times this year and really, again, wasn't too consistent, but when he was on, he was on. So, yeah. Defensively, though, Nick Bosa, Montez Sweat, and Aiden Hutchinson, no issues there. I mean, yeah, some guys you could argue, but there's really nothing to say like that. That's a good group. Again, if Chase Young wasn't on the Niners, maybe, but probably not. Aaron Donald, he was, again, still the glue of the Rams. This defense would suck with it. I mean, not suck. They just wouldn't be very good without him. Or they would have a hard time. The Rams would have a hard time doing crap without him. But Dexter Lawrence, Sexy Dexy, only giant to make the Pro Bowl team. definitely deserve it. Javon Hargrave, again, not much of a run defender this year, but it doesn't matter when you get as much pressure as he does. Micah Parsons, Danielle Hunter off the edge. Those have been your two best, honestly, probably two most valuable edge rushers in the league this year, despite Micah Parsons having some issues with maturity when it comes to what is called reading gaps when he has to film. Whatever, though. Hassan Reddick, that makes sense. Again, I don't think he was as great, but then again, he's had some massive games this year, and you just can't ignore that. Consistency-wise, no, but again, those big games and also the fact that his numbers are really good makes sense there. Nick Bosa, the reason if you don't know, the reason I don't have an issue with him is he's got double-teamed a lot, and also, again, you can see all the other guys feast from him. Even if Nick Bosa is not the same guy he was last year, which is kind of hard to do, again, he's a little overrated, but you can't deny he is not super valuable for this team. Again, that being the Niners. Yeah, Fred Warner's still the best linebacker in the league. Bro, how the hell is Bobby Wagner on in the what is called Pro Bowl team? Again, I get he's one of the best linebackers in NFL history, but guys, or since 2010, but Bobby Wagner was not that good this year. He looked slow against the run. He still doesn't take on blocks correctly. Again, we watched the Rams last year. That was really the one thing I'd say with him. And then in coverage, he was slow. That's as simple as that. Not up in the head, but obviously, like, in coverage, just wasn't good. Last year he was. This year he just straight up wasn't. I don't know how that team made the Pro Bowl team. But looking at the corners, this is a super competitive division. Jalen Johnson's been the best, most dominant corner in the NFC this year. Makes sense there. Charvarius Ward, obviously one of the best man corners in the league. I'm good with that. Deron Bland obviously has had an unbelievable year in a multitude of different ways. So him being the starter, I'm not an issue with. I don't know. Jalen Johnson, I think, is better than Charvarius Ward, though. At least this year. Devon Witherspoon made the team as a rookie. Good for him. Again, we'll get to the snubs in a minute. Again, there really isn't anyone you can completely argue should have made it over him, but okay. Free safety, Jesse Bates. Yeah, he's been the Falcons' best player. Buddha, okay. And Julian Love, he has been one of the most mistake-free safeties in the whole entire league. And you might be asking, oh, he's not a starter. Well, here's how I'll put it. When Jamal Adams is on this field, the Seahawks are like the worst defense in the league. When he's on the field, they're like a lot better. Best way I can put it there. Looking at this, what is it called, special teams unit though. Inter DePola as the long snapper, cool. Brian Anger as the punter, and yeah, Brandon Aubrey. Cowboys have had the best special teams in the league this year. Of course, Brandon Aubrey hasn't missed a kick, so that makes sense. Looking at the kick return, you got Rashid, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, bro. I love you, man, but like Najee Thompson, the rookie, and the Vikings should have got it, bro. That guy is a freaking menace on special teams. That's really all I got for that, though. Again, that's probably in a snub. But with all that said, let's get right into these snubs. I've kind of already spoiled some of them, but let's go. AFC Pro Bowl Snubs. Alright, and now for these snubs, I'm going to start out with quarterback for the AFC. And yeah, again, this is going to be for Mahomes. If there was one guy that I think, again, will go in for Mahomes, it is Josh Allen. Alright, talk all the crap you want about how Josh Allen has 16 interceptions and has like 25 turnovers. Here's the problem, guys. He's like 5th in the league in passing touchdowns, and he has 42 total touchdowns, which leads the league by a good bit. So if you're just wondering why, like, oh, no, it's Mahomes, Mahomes has not nearly, again, maybe not consistency-wise, they've been pretty similar. The difference, though, is Josh Allen's had a better year. That's just a simple truth, though. 42 total touchdowns, 4,000 total yards, and he's led this late-season rally, and this is a Bills team that has had to dig out of a hole. Again, I talk about the Chiefs, again, I've had to do a lot of other stuff, but Josh Allen has had to carry the Bills this year, and without him, they obviously wouldn't be like anywhere near as good as they are right now. He's their team. But again, it's not just that. It's also, again, his numbers are good enough, and he's also been consistent throughout the whole year. Again, yes, he is throwing a lot of picks. I get that. His numbers aren't as good as they've been in the past. Probably the lowest total of touchdowns he's thrown in a while. But then again, 42 total touchdowns, guys. He's ran 15 into the end zone. That's just like flat out ridiculous. So, guys, I think Josh Allen was snubbed there. That's what I got there. But running back, I mean, there's really nothing to say, guys. There really isn't a running back that like can compete with them. Yeah, maybe the Jonathan Taylor or Travis Etienne Jr., but neither of those guys have been nearly consistent enough. Or what is it called? Jonathan Taylor's case have been on the field. Najee, I do have I'm okay with that, but with how bad he started the year, I don't think he's built himself up enough to actually get there. The past 5 weeks, he's been awesome. Again, Najee has been. He's done a lot, not too much lighter. He's been lighter on his feet, though, and of course, he's a bowling ball. He fully embraced that, so that's great. Najee, if you played like that whole year, you would have been locked to make the Pro Bowl. Of course, he wasn't able to, so again, I won't say that's too much of a snub, because he obviously built himself a huge hole to climb out of. Wide receiver, it's Michael Pittman Jr. I'd probably take him out for either Jamar Chase. I wouldn't say Keenan Allen, though. Michael Pittman Jr. has been one of the most valuable players in the whole league. You watch that offense, he is the engine of that thing. You know, if he's not on the field, this offense looks a lot different. Not only that, though, but he's been explosive for them. And Jamar Chase has been great, guys, but he hasn't been nearly as valuable as Michael Pittman's been to the Colts, as well as the fact that Michael Pittman Jr. has been great every single game he's been in. Jamar Chase, a little less consistent, again, even though he's obviously a phenomenal player. Tight end, same type of thing. There's really nothing to talk about here, guys. Like, these are your guys who are going to make the Pro Bowl. Maybe David Njoku instead of Travis Kelce, but again, that's pretty vanilla there. Offensive line, though, I'm really not too concerned. The only guy I'd say is that maybe you take Teron Armstead out for Garrett Bowles, who has been great this year. Of course, 2021 and 2020 were his best years. Again, in 2022, of course, he struggled with injury. Last year, he was still really good, but just wasn't as good as you've seen him in the past due to, again, not having the same leverage ability, because again, he was hurt in 2022 coming off that injury. In 2023, just didn't have that same intensity that you're used to seeing. My bad. In 2022, before he got hurt, just didn't have that same intensity, because again, 2021 was a little bit of an injury-riddled year, but this year, he has gone bananas. So, yeah. What it's called, Garrett Bowles probably should have got it. Meanwhile, for this defense, looking at the snubs. First off, looking at defensive end, I'd probably give it to Greg Rousseau if there was one dude. Yeah, you might talk about how, oh God, Greg Rousseau, no way. But you gotta understand, guys, he's been one of our more, really, to be honest, yeah, probably. Honestly, defensive end, never mind, my bad. I was thinking of linebacker. Okay. Khalil Mack, yes, but if there's one guy, I'd probably say Greg Rousseau, which might sound crazy to you guys, but watching him on film, he has been such just a complete game wrecker there. Like, he's taken out whole sides of the offensive line, completely set the edge in less than 2 seconds. It is really hard to scheme up for that dude. He has been so valuable for this team. Yes, again, I only see the 5 sacks. Yeah, only 24 pressures in terms of these numbers. Like total pressures, he's got around 50. So, looking at, again, the pass rushing numbers are not great overall, but he's been such a good run defender, and Khalil Mack, again, just hasn't been that dude for that. And just, again, Greg Rousseau's been so disruptive. He's probably the one dude I said would get snubbed. Again, it might be a little bit of a long shot, but I think, again, he should have probably been on the Pro Bowl roster. Middle linebacker, there's nothing to talk about, guys. These guys have been just absolutely great this year. Again, nothing to say there. Corner, I forgot about, we'll get to Christian Wilkins in a second. But corner, it's got to be L'Jarius Sneed, guys. He's been the best player in that Chiefs defense, and the Chiefs defense is one of the best in the league. Obviously, he's just unbelievable at times, but if there was a guy I would take him out for, it might be Sauce, because, again, Sauce, he's been really good, but even if they didn't have him, like, again, the Jets, their defense still would be pretty good, but, guys, L'Jarius Sneed had a much better year than Sauce Gardner, so don't ask me how he didn't make the Pro Bowl team. Free safety or safety in general, probably Kyle Duggar. He's been just a complete, game wrecker when it comes to stopping the run. Very good guy. Again, his missed tackle percentage is the lowest of his career. Obviously, his rating is the lowest of his career, too. Again, outside of 2021, he didn't have as many targets as he's had this year. But obviously, only 1 touchdown given up. He's a guy who doesn't make any mistakes. Again, that isn't Kyle Duggar. And he deserves to be on the Pro Bowl roster, despite, again, not being on a team that sucks. Again, back to it, the guy who just got completely, knocked off this list. Guys, Quentin Williams, great, but Christian Wilkins had a career year, and he won't be a Pro Bowler. I wouldn't say he's going to be first-team All-Pro. Honestly, you might have to consider him for it, but Christian Wilkins has just been great. Again, not as many tackles or as many, again, dominance against the run, but he's been such a better guy, a pass rusher this year. It's great to see, guys. Maybe not as good against the run, but, guys, you got to realize how good he's been as pass rusher this year. He's been so valuable, of course, for that Miami defense. And obviously, again, he deserves to be a Pro Bowler. Don't ask me how the hell he's not. But that's all I got for the AFC, guys. Time for the NFC. Alright, guys, and in the NFC, the snubs, there's a little less because I don't think it's as controversial, at least in some positions. Overall, though, maybe. But, of course, looking at the quarterback position, the one guy I would say, again, this is a little bit of a reach, but I honestly think Jordan Love, you could argue, should have made the Pro Bowl. I'm not saying, too much, but you could argue he could have. Of course, he did have a rough start to the year, but since, I don't know, around this game against the Rams, he has been legit. That's the best way I can put it. He's had some very good games. Obviously, he's second in the league in touchdown passes. So, yeah, Jordan Love, I think, would have deserved it. I don't know, again, if I'd put it over these 3 guys, but he definitely deserved to be in the Pro Bowl. So, maybe he got snubbed. Running back-wise, I would say Saquon for DeAndre Swift. Again, that might sound crazy, but you look at it, he's again, not the most consistent over the past couple weeks. Again, recency bias. But as a whole, Saquon has had some big games. This year, obviously, again, since the Saints game, he hasn't been as dominant. Against the Eagles, he was decent. But overall, against Saquon, I think, again, he had a Pro Bowl caliber season. Again, considering the guys he has around him, it's not a good group. Obviously, the interior of that Giants offensive line is crap. So, yeah, DeAndre Swift was the best offensive line in the league. it's not going good. Like, I really don't know why he made the Pro Bowl, to be completely honest. I would probably put Saquon in over him, but that's just me. Wide receiver wise, it's got to be Amon-Ra St. Brown for Mike Evans. For AJ Brown, my bad. AJ Brown obviously has had a great year, but it hasn't been as consistent as last year. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has been just better than him. Simple as that. There's no way you argue that Amon-Ra St. Brown has not been better than AJ Brown this season. Like, that's really what I gotta say. Again, him being a starter is a little bit of a reach just to start out with, let alone being even on the team. Amon-Ra St. Brown should be a Pro Bowler. I won't say over Puka or Mike Evans because Mike Evans has been so valuable for that Bucs offense. And also, again, he's gotten open at the highest rate of his career. So, with that said, though, again, Amon-Ra St. Brown for AJ Brown. That's really what I got to say there. Offensive line, it's really one dude, again, for Zach Martin, which kind of sounds a little crazy. But Kevin Dotson, guys, he's been the best run blocker in the league throughout the year. Again, the only guy would be Connor Williams, the only other guy who hasn't been a better run blocker. And he's transformed this Rams offensive line and their blocking scheme as well. He can go in one-on-ones and just completely obliterate guys. You got to realize, guys, Kevin Dotson for the Rams, he's got to get a huge contract. He was a massive guy we got in a trade, and he's been absolutely unbelievable. Don't ask me how the hell he didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's inexcusable. But that's really all I got for this offensive line. Meanwhile, for this defense, there's only actually two guys that I think could have been snubbed, because Vita Vea is really the only guy. Again, maybe for Javon Hargrave, he's a much better run defender, and he is, again, the best nose tackle in the league. So, again, outside, of course, Dexter Lawrence. So, that's probably the only guy, though, on this defensive line, because, again, I get Nick Bosa, but, guys, there's really no guy you can, really say that, oh, yeah, he's been better than him on the D-line, because it's just a simple truth, guys. Again, Nick Bosa, he still hasn't had a great year, and he's still a Pro Bowl caliber player. Like, that tells you what type of player he is. Again, outside linebacker is not much of an issue. And really, the only other position I can really talk about is corner. And maybe you could say Darius Slay for Devon Witherspoon. But again, they want to get younger guys in there, so I kind of get it. But Darius Slay did have a better year than people might have expected. Even though, again, he has given up a lot of yards, again, over the past 3 years. So, again, really the only thing I have to say is, again, Devon Witherspoon, Darius Slay, probably the only snubs. NFC isn't nearly as bad. Again, there's some egregious spots like Amon-Ra and the Kevin Dotson, but those are the really only two guys that I really have any issues with. The rest of the NFC is better. Obviously, they did do a little bit of a better job picking the NFC Pro Bowl roster. And with that said, that's all I got for the 2024 NFL Pro Bowl roster reactions. Hope you guys enjoyed, guys. Again, we'll be talking about this probably in a couple of weeks. So, again, this might come back up. Again, that's what I got for the first thing for the Pro Bowl rosters, though. And see you on Saturday for the, NFL Week 18 season finale doubleheader preview. Again, that'll come around. But until then, hope you guys have a great night, and see you on Saturday.
Toss play, Cook, first down and more. There goes Dalvin Cook. Now trying to maneuver around Chuck Clark. Working past Humphreys. Jefferson throws a block all the way down inside the 20. What a run by Dalvin Cook.
We need a new running back. Dalvin Cook can get that done, and then you get Jefferson down there throwing a block as well. And I tell you what, this is when it gets infection.